And which one did you design? It wasn't Death Scythe, and it wasn't Wing Zero. Never mind. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stone Face Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are back with another episode of Mobile Suit Gundam. We come back with a board, we come back with a comment, and we come back with some notes. That's not the order that we're going to do things in, though, because we're going to start off with the board, so let's go look at the board. And, as always, we come with the board changelog. I connected Troa to Oct with a red line, and then marked Inspector Oct as dead. I connected Noin to Hero and Troa with a white line. I connected Zex to Pagan with a green line. I added Miss Noventa and connected her with a blue line to Field Marshal Noventa, and of course the daughter that's already connected on the blue line, granddaughter. A white line to Pagan, and a green line to Hero. I connected Messer to Hero and Troa with a white line. I added Jim and connected him to Messer and Zex with a green line. I connected Troa to Erlina with a white line. Oh, I missed one. I connected Troa to Zex with a white line and turned Hero's red line to Zex into a white line.
Oh no.
Well, yes, the board is temporal. Until we get to the end, and there's nothing new being made, in which case all the characters exist in a time freeze.
I agree with all those changes, basically. I have no reason to debate them or otherwise. Yeah. It's like, oh, what's that guy? Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. How many there were two mechanics, right? I'm going to double check that. Jim is okay, here we are. Meister. Never mind. Yes, double checking that.
I think it's called Mister.
Mister.
Here's the thing, Jim doesn't even have a name in the Japanese. The English actors call him Jim. In the credits, he is just Atlantic Chief Engineer. Antarctic Chief Engineer. And again, they don't call him Jim in the subtitles. So that is just me saying that the English voice actors called him Jim, and apropos of no other name, and the idea that he's probably never going to show up again, he's Jim.
Probably it was done for, filling space, right? That sometimes you add or subtract, well, not subtract words, of course, but it's very common in...
You got to match the... or not match, you've got to have the same amount of talking time as the very generic lip flap.
Yeah. So it should work that way. I guess they decided go with Jim. What I call him? Jim works.
I do not care. I'm just indicating that they said it in English.
Well, damn it, Theta, I care.
Damn it, Jim. I'm a mechanic, not an engineer.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Not the same thing.
Technically, I think he is actually an engineer.
Mm-hmm.
Jim.
The other guy is an engineer, yeah.
No, Jim. I think Jim is chief engineer, so.
Oh. I guess he is, yes. As per the board.
Well, I did just watch that episode 50 minutes ago.
Now we go to notes, I believe. And my notes are pretty snarky, so hold on to your butts. And yes, and I will say this, especially when we go to the second episode that I have notes. I was the one that voted that we do Wing. Just want to make it clear.
I wasn't like, but what about, no, shut the fuck up, Theta, we're watching Wing. I was on board.
Yeah, I know.
Wing exists on nostalgia, right? I was literally, when I was watching 50 minutes ago, this is a bad show, but I like it.
Yeah. Just prefacing that. So let's start with episode 15, To the Battleground on Antarctica. Sucks to be that guy who found his bike at the bottom of the bay. That's my first note, because that's what Troa does. He just throws it. He jumps, the bike goes into the bay, and the car crashes against the pole.
Sorry, I forgot about that. I did think to myself how strong that wire was, because it crashes into the pole, and the pole still stays, and the wires stay up too. But I
Yeah,
didn't.
but the wires are back between the buildings. That pole is it's a light pole that he
Yeah,
he
but
leaves the
literally
he,
the weakest point of the pole staying up is the wire, because the pole is, I think, just
no, the pole is
regular.
just a light pole.
Yeah,
A,
I'm saying
okay,
the pole.
but the crash okay.
Don't. There's no reason to explain to me what the crash is. I remember, literally, the car rams into the pole, stops, because he rammed into it, and the pole flies this way, but it stops and is being held up by the wire. And I'm saying the weakest point of that whole juncture is the wire, because the pole is just resting this way against the wire.
I don't think there was any wire.
There was. It's like a what do you call it? It's like a power pole. It's a power pole that has a light on it. It's connected by wire. There's wire going back towards. Again, like when you look at the electrical wire going down the road.
Transmission lines, yeah. Transmission lines, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Wire.
Yeah.
There's one of it going down. There's one going down the dock, and there's one heading back into the residential area. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So it's being held up by the two wires that's still on it.
I've seen hurricanes where literally poles are completely broken up and just held by the wire. So it's
but possible. I'm saying that the thick ass, like most cases, wooden pole, unless you're more, I don't know. There are metal ones too, but around here they're mostly wood, are stronger than the wire. So.
Yeah, but when you say wires, Troll actually doesn't jump into that wire. He jumps into like clothing lines.
No, I'm not talking about that. We're talking about the crash, not what Troll does afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
My point was, I don't know why we went on this tangent. My point was that I completely forgot about that scene when you said, you just apropos, bike in the bottom of the bay. I'm just thinking like a pedal bike. I'm like, I don't remember this stuff at all.
Yeah, no. He jumps, he leaves it looks like a Ducati, which is a very expensive bike, by the way, or the equivalent in Wing, goes into the water. And imagine being the guy who's like, where's my bike? It's like, yeah, we found a bike in the bottom of the bay. Is this yours? I'm like,
no one's looking for that shit. You ever see when they dredge? You ever see when they dredge waterways and they pull out like 17 bikes people have like thrown from a bridge, and that nobody ever dredged the waterway before? Or any video of the people magnet hunting, or not magnet fishing, and they're just picking up all of this metal crap, and it's just like people just throw shit in there and it never gets found. Like this guy, he lost his bike way back in the city. He might not ever think to look in the bay, and no one's going to be dredging the bay unless someone died,
I mean, there might have been a police report because of the crash and everything else, so that probably would.
As someone who lost a bike before to some jackass thief and put in a police report, they're not going to be looking for the bike. They're going to say they're looking for the bike. They're not going to be looking for the bike. Yeah,
the police report's for whatever insurance, if you have any. Otherwise, it's worthless.
All right. Troa's notepad had 11 names on it, and we know 2 of them were his wife and granddaughter. It just makes me wonder what the relations were that they visited. Like, did Noventa have brothers and sisters that they visited? Or did he have a few kids that got married and had children too? Like, did they visit Noventa's son and daughter, who both had a family, so he also visited their wife and husband, and each had a couple of kids, who he then visited? Except for the one that had only a single daughter that we saw. They bothered to look up Noventa's entire line and visit them all. If you accidentally killed me, I'd have a hard time thinking of 11 people you'd need to visit.
I can imagine Hero going like the first Matrix, like, guns. Just pick one. Just shoot me with any one of these guns. Because he has to carry like a whole armory worth of guns just to hand over a gun to everyone. It's like, oh, hey, little Susie, you want to shoot me? Here you go.
Well, I mean, I don't know that was your thing about him giving the guns away. Like, I'm not taking that back. But for me, it's the element of, where do you draw the line, right? Say Noventa has a son, and you go to visit Noventa's son. Hey, I killed your dad. And then you're deciding to say, okay, you're Noventa's son's wife. You married into this, but technically you may have liked him, I guess. So I'm also going to give it to you. Also, do you care about the wife's brother if the wife has a brother? Like, how far down the chain of familial relations do you go? Is it like just immediate his children and then their grandchildren? Because we've already included grandchildren, so you got to go to the grandkids.
Right, like, hey, Lucy, you not pull the trigger? Go ahead.
I'm saying, like I said,
don't shoot your own feet.
You're focusing on the murderous aspect of this, but for me, it's like, where did he decide to draw the line? Because we can't read the names. Troa has like pencil scratch handwriting because it's not meant to be read. But the fact that it's 2 rows of names and he scratches off 1 on the end means it's 2 sections of names, and counting them out, there are 11. So I'm just like thinking to myself, what is his family like? Or is this like, was he a big family? Like, if we're going down to grandkids,
Noventa probably also had like brothers and sisters too that might still be alive. So like, oh well, you want to avenge your brother? You want to,
Yeah, but then again, that implies it's not a big family. Like 11 is a lot to me, but if you had brothers and sisters, and then those brothers and sisters also had kids, and then those kids also were like, his grandchild wasn't that young, so she was like Hero's age, which means that his children would also be 30s to 40s, if he's like 50s to 60s, or 70s rather. So, it's like each one of them, some of them must have not gotten married, or did one of them get married and have a lot of kids? Like, did one of them get married and have 6 kids? And then this one only had 1? It's like trying to do the math on what the more probable spread of kids. Like, you spent time thinking about a bike at the bottom of a lake. I spent time thinking of what Noventa's family must be like.
Either way, kind of silly. My next note, the whole scene with the mother and baby was weird. Are those people employees of Trey's, peasants in his lands? What was Trey trying to do? I guess he's some sort of social Darwinist, essentially.
What I think is funny is that you go from the bike to the baby on the pier. I've got like 5 or 6 notes I made before we even get to the pier.
Yeah, I don't have that many notes, like I said.
That's what I'm saying, is I was noticing stuff left and right before we even get to that. But, I mean, since I basically have to respond to yours with mine, otherwise it's going to be weird just getting back to mine eventually. When Trey stops the woman from saving her son, he's asking himself what he should do about the Zex situation, vis-a-vis Romefeller. I guess the possibility of a baby drowning is Trey's version of flipping a coin. That, or it's a visual metaphor for how Trey's believes the Zex situation will handle itself. That Zex is on the edge, but will pull back before he does anything to harm himself. Either way, that woman should have punched Trey's in the jaw and run out of there to save her son. Again, I'm leaning on the visual metaphor element that I think I said it during the reaction, that Trey's considers Zex to be like a child. So he is using the child as a what should I do moment, because that's what he leads into the situation with. But I think more so the child is actually visual metaphor for us to what Trey's believes, as per the skeet shooting scene that we've discussed at length. So I think it is the stupidest shit we've ever seen, but is also the most clever writing the show has had so far. Because it goes so deep on different levels of, like, it's visual metaphor, but it's also Trey's trying to decide on something, so it's a visual metaphor with 2 different aspects to it. Consider how, on the surface, how basic the show is most of the time. It is, like, the stupidest way you could possibly pull this off. But they're trying real good.
They tried. Not even that much. Hence why I called it weird. I guess in my next note then.
Yeah, that was my response to you.
Yeah. Miss Noventa's letter is also a bit strange. Oops, you murdered my husband, but that's okay. It wasn't like he was the head of a military that conquered the entire world and oppressed colonies. It was just it was an honest mistake. So please go on and build a better future with a giant robot that you used to vaporize my husband. Love and kisses, Mrs. Noventa.
Well, she didn't say love and kisses. She said our family was honored to have met you. I mean, to be fair, she's very happy-go-lucky, right? Like, Well, he was a soldier, and these things do happen. It's like, would you prefer it was a tear-filled letter of
It's just
how could
the
you?
whole message is kind of weird. It's like, Elise was like, "Oh well, my husband died, but I guess you kids go and have a future. That would be
Not for
great."
nothing. Not for nothing here. He did go and visit her and like offered to let her kill him. So it's like he's trying to make amends, and we don't know what that visit was actually like. Like maybe she did like explode on him and everything like that, and then after the fact had like a reconciling moment where she wrote this letter. It was like, it was a pleasure to have actually met you. I appreciate the gesture. You're actually a child, and I am a grandma. I have lived my life. Even though you killed my husband, we had an amazing life together. I always knew he was a soldier, that this could have happened. And it's not like you were a horrible person that killed him. You actually regret your decision and trying to make amends. So go on and do what you will. It was nice meeting you. I appreciated the thought, even though I'm not a soldier and I'm not going to take someone's life.
Yeah, I think it would have been much better scene
instead
of having
anime?
the whole fighting.
No, it would have been a much better scene in a better anime. So I'm saying.
Yeah. And in a better anime, instead of having the whole fight sequence in the city to save the granddaughter, and it was only incidental because they were just attacking the city because it was a alliance military base there, right? And flipping trucks and all that kind of thing. Very exciting stuff, but still, it would have been a much quieter scene where, Hero either goes in and gets invited or literally, does his thing where he infiltrates the mansion, right? To meet Miss Noventa. It's like, well, what are you doing here? It's like, I want to talk to Miss Noventa. He's a gun. Maybe have a bodyguard or something like, oh, he has a gun. It's like, she goes like, okay, don't do anything. He has a gun and they have the speech. And maybe she looks at the gun but doesn't touch her because she doesn't believe in violence. That was her husband, whatever. And it's like, please go. And then have a letter. But the letter would have been something like that. You said, I understand what you were trying to do. My husband has passed. Perhaps our time has passed. It is your time now. You're the new generation. I hope that you can find the peace that you're looking for and create a better future. Something like that.
Here's the thing. And I'll tell you why you're wrong. I'm going to say, I agree with you. But I'm going to tell you why you're wrong. What you're pitching is a great show for 20 to 30-year-olds. This is a show being pitched at 13 to 15-year-olds. You gotta have the fight scenes. So as bad narratively as that was, we all loved Wing back when it aired, and people love those goddamn fight scenes. So what we got is what was needed to make Wing what it was. What you're pitching is every other Gundam.
Yeah.
There's a reason Wing didn't do that well in Japan.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying, again,
no, like I said, I agreed with you. What you were pitching was a much better thing. I would like to see that. However, 13 to 15-year-old me probably wouldn't have.
Like, oh, this is boring. Where's the giant robot?
Well, remember, what's Wing back-to-back with on Toonami? Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho, combat. Yu Yu Hakusho has some emotional moments. Dragon Ball Z is Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, so it's back-to-back. Like, by comparison to its compatriots at the time, this was the thinking man's anime. But comparatively to other Gundam, other anime, this is pretty dumb. So, that's what I'm saying. You watched Gundam Wing to get massive battles, and they were like, well, we gotta at least put some intellectual stuff in here. Well, we'll have them say it during the battles. So, this is as best as we were going to get for that time block. Let's see here. This two-parter really makes me think that most of Operation Meteor and definitely Zex would not have survived in Iron-Blooded Orphans. This kind of desire for an honorable fight is what gets most people killed over there. Ironically, Wu Fei is the only one I think that would make it if he switched shows. Maybe Duo, as he seems savvy enough to at least not wander into anything.
I have a whole lot of saying about the actual fight when we get there. So
But just the element,
hold
I
on
think
to it.
I've brought this up before, again, not spoiling for anything, but most of the characters I enjoyed in Iron-Blooded Orphans would be the Zex type of character. I want an honorable fight sort of thing. And it's like, that's not what that world's about. Every time, every one of you wants to do an honorable fight, you get your ass killed.
War, which is kind of a point that Sex is trying to make, that he wants to shed that part of himself.
Well, he wants to show,
maybe
he wants to shed the showy part of himself. At the end of the second episode, he wants to show Relina how dirty and, combat really is.
But there were so many other ways to do it that, my last note of episode 15, like I said, I have very few notes. They're pretty chunky, but still few. Didn't understand what happened to Troa's arm. Is he injured? Is that regret? Not that it matters, since word got out that there are Gundams in the South Pole, meaning that there's a good chance that Sex lied about the 01.
What are you referring to?
At the end of episode, when they have the fight with the inspector, the guy that has the close up with the face.
No, I did a whole thing for the camera. I remember.
Yeah. And he does the twirling thing, and then he literally has to pry his fingers out of one of the controls, the right hand control.
Yeah.
And then he falls. He's like, oh.
The confusing thing is, you said his arm, and most of the shots. No. Most of the shots that we get are of Hero and his bleeding bandage. So I was confused.
Yeah.
So like, are you talking about the wrong guy? I think that is a visual for what they're talking about a bunch during the scene. Not the scene, the previous parts of the episode and later in the second episode of this, again, two-parter, where Troa keeps going on about how heavy, ironically, heavy his arm is. So they're indicating that a uninjured guy has a hard time manipulating it, so that when the Hero goes on to manipulate it, how much harder it is for him to do when he can't, again, pick up a CD. So I think that's what's supposed to happen. So we see how hard Troa is having, how hard a time Troa's having with it, so that when we see Hero doing it, and then he starts bleeding from the already healing wound, we get that knowledge. Again, it's one of the show's better moments of visual storytelling, as opposed. I have a whole thing about our exposition characters. So Pagan the butler can figure out that Zex's destroyed Gundam is a fake from just his computer. Doesn't actually make Oct look like a master of his craft.
I mean, Oct figures out what's going on. He goes after.
He suspects, and then he chases them down for more evidence.
Yeah.
Whereas Pagan's like, I'm certain this is what's happening. Look at the evidence I've gathered on my Commodore 64.
Yeah.
Actually, it looks like an Apple. Sorry, I have a whole note about a screenshot that I took about Pagan when he's on his computer. By the way, somebody sent him a Christmas card. So, well, it's the windows that he has opened very much. I've never owned an Apple, but my cousin had one when he was a kid, and I remember playing around on it before. And the window top styles just very much like that.
If it is an Apple, it has that one PC sidecar thing that they used to make it so that you could make certain computers compatible with PC. Some Macs had it, and Amigas had it as well. Basically, it was like a secondary computer that you just bolted on, So it's like you have the Amiga and the PC compatibility, or the Mac and the PC compatibility, because the disc and everything else are on the side. So not that it matters much. Next note. Now we're on to the Sorrowful Battle.
Well, you are. This is where this new format where it falls apart. You're going to move on. I'm still going to be like 10 comments into this part.
Episode 16. I know this is going to be something that Theta and I don't agree with, but I do not like this episode. This is pure shonen nonsense, even with such a melodramatic show like this one. Even if I accept Sex's reasons for wanting this duel, I don't see how or why both Hero and Troa would go along with it. The only people that make some sort of sense are Oz, who, when they can't study 01, they want it destroyed, but certainly wouldn't want it to hand it over to the very same people that are attacking them.
Troa doesn't go along with it. I mean, he technically does, but he also tries to convince Noin to stop going along with it. Troa isn't the same camp as Relina is in this matter.
Yeah.
Hero is just going along that because he just tried to get 11 people to shoot him. So essentially, I guess I can make amends to Zex too. I'll say thank you in my own way. You having a birthday, Zex? I won't attend. But yeah, I mean, I disagree with you. It's a pretty good episode. I think 50 to 60% of it is good. Namely, the combat scenes.
Yeah, those are the ones I dislike the most because I found it so pointless. Yes, I know the show, and I have notes about it that says this is pointless, this is pointless, this is pointless. But it's just like, well, if it's pointless, why don't you still do it?
I'm not even talking about the pointless part. It's just fun fight.
Yeah. And also the one thing, the thing I wanted to say, and I said it during the broadcast, I think it would have been better or more thematic if it hadn't been in heavy arms. I like the heavy arms. You don't like the heavy arms. That's fine.
It's foreshadowing. It's foreshadowing Zex in a injured mobile suit against Hero in not his mobile suit for a future fight that we both know is going to happen, where Zex is not in his mobile suit, and then, well, technically Hero's not going to be in his own mobile suit again. But it's just theming for the fight setups that we're going to get along the way.
Yeah. But at this moment, I think it would have been cooler if it had been 0-1, because we spent like 3 or 4 episodes fixing up the 0-1, lying to everybody about the 0-1. It's like, the 0-1 will be used, but it won't be used by Hero. So it's like, that seemed like weird.
Well, here's also the thing.
Yes, I understand the thematic input, but
well, still, no. The thing is that I think it's weirder that you didn't like it, given that I've spent the entirety of the show shitting on the heavy arms, and this was the one time heavy arms went up against a meaningful opponent. So,
I mean, I don't like it. I don't like it because it doesn't seem like a good fit to have Hero in the heavy arms. You understand? It had been an emergency, something like that, and Hero's like, "Oh, here's the heavy arms. It's the only thing I have. Here comes Zex."
Well, I mean, in that case, it's a psychological piece about Hero's inability to take gifts from people. Because he says that. Well, he says that, essentially. He sacrificed... he says it... he says it once in the hangar when he decides to make the change. But he also emphasizes it again when he notices that the tall geese's arm is injured.
Which is where he hits the tall geese anyway. Well, on the side anyway. Anyway. Your next note.
13 years ago, when he was 6. So Zex is 19 then. Also, I hope Pagan was the family butler. Otherwise, it's super embarrassing that he's rocking the Children's Fencing League. Both Hero and Zex broke a fencer's sword in a match, by the way. That's a matchup between them. Although Hero broke another kid's fencing thing.
Oh, we're going to wait up.
And Zex broke a grandpa's rapier.
The idea, I think, is Pagan was a retainer, a family retainer of the Peace Crabs, and he was teaching.
Again, it's just an element that they don't introduce. They don't say it. Like, it's just a flashback from Pagan, which is just, isn't this the same room we're in right now? Like, you're standing in a room with a bookshelf and then a computer on the side, and then we flash back to him having a fencing competition with Zex, and the only thing that's changed is there's no computer. Because 16 years ago, we didn't have computers. I don't know.
Oh, personal computer 16 years ago.
I don't know. I just look at Zex, and I think this man's older than 19 as well.
Yeah. But it's anime years, so...
you know what? Actually, no. The fact that we know Relina is, what, 15? 16? No, she has to be 15 right now. So, 4 years older, as we know Zex was at the time, makes him 19, so that also corroborates.
Yeah. He doesn't look 19, but, or sounds 19.
The war's been rough.
Yeah. My next note. A bit of a snark fest. Is that your real name? Listen, Phantom of the Mecha Opera. I don't ask your name. You don't ask me. You don't ask me mine. Got it? Hero, Buick, probably.
I mean, Zex is that giant gun on the side. Be like, is that your real name? Is that your real name? No, seriously, is that your real name? I'm being nice. You shut the fuck up, kid. I'm an adult. Well, actually, I'm not. I just look like one.
Oh, 19. 20. He would be an adult at 20, yeah.
I mean, the age does end with teen. He's not 21. Asian majority in Japan, but I don't think Zex is Japanese coded. I think he is. God, I can't remember what the Sanction Kingdom is supposed to be. Yeah, North European
Northern
or
Europe. Yeah.
All right. So this note was originally a lot longer, and then I deleted most of it, and then tried to explain what I was writing before in a much shorter way. So I took a screenshot of the paper Pagan was reading on his computer, zoomed in on the super blurry text, and started typing away with the intent to read to you here what was on the page. But after 3 paragraphs, I realized that there was really no point. What they've done is taken a picture of Trey's and added Oz action was justified to a 1944 paper about World War II updates. The main middle bit is reporting on the Battle of the Bulge. The article under the Oz action bit is about a business chairman responding to criticism about announcing a 15% dividend without giving profit figures. So it's just a picture of trays surrounded by articles about the Nazis. That's also why there's that battle map on the side. It's literally reporting on the Battle of the Bulge, and I guess in a little bit meta for a newspaper, it's reporting on the reporting about the Battle of the Bulge. So like I said, I got 3 paragraphs into that before I was like, this is all just an actual newspaper from 1944. I think it's a British newspaper too, because I looked up the name of it, and the first response was essentially, this is the former name of something that's actually called This Now. And that's why I referenced the computer being like a Mac, because the top thing actually had whatever the year is in the show. They added that in the same way that they added the Trey's picture, and Oz action justified in a news article that has nothing to do with Oz. Like, it has the most boring article I have ever read. Like, it's that's not self-referential. It's literally if I was having an argument with you and I kept referring to the fact that I don't have to give you information because that's not the normal thing that we do. And it's kept saying that in a thesaurus manner over and over again. That's what this chairman does in that news article. I don't have to give you profit figures because giving profit figures isn't normally necessary in raising dividends. And by that, what I mean is that normally when we announce our dividend releases, I don't give profit figures because they're completely unnecessary. Now, when I tell you that they're unnecessary, what I mean to say is that it's not necessary for me to tell you. It's that for like paragraphs.
Well, who knew that corporal speak was that old?
Yeah. Well, it's also just a little bit funny that giant picture of trays, bunch of articles about Nazis. I don't know if they're making a meta note or it's just one of those random things. Hey, this thing has a map on the side, and let's throw it on there.
We can replicate it, draw it in by hand. So yeah. My next note. At least Troa gets it. This is a waste of time, and you idiots are fighting over nothing. Our job is to protect the colonies, so let's find a way to do that. Which is literally what he says to Noin, and Noin replies, "Oh, but he has to find himself, blah blah blah, because this is a battle about sex finding himself. He has to find what he has to fight for, and I want to convince him that he needs to fight for his sister and his kingdom, and that should be the thing that."
Well, I mean, I brought this up before when we were talking about Alex and Myers, was it? When they visited the Lake Victoria base, that essentially Zex has this cult around him. Because remember, they say at the Lake Victoria base that they're willing to do anything for Zex. And now these guys here are saying the same thing at Barclay base. And then Noin is parroting that because she's the chief amongst all fanatics. She even says this episode, I love you. I mean, I love him.
Yeah,
so,
his sister.
Yeah.
In the same time which he declares that, in fact, he is his sister, his brother.
He is his brother?
Well, he is his brother to her.
He is her brother. You keep using the male pronouns for women. I don't know why. But, yeah, I mean, technically, he can be your own brother. I guess. Yeah, I don't know. you know, the problem therein is that you're siding with Troa and Relina. And Troa, I don't have that much of a problem with, other than the fact, again, he's just 0.5 hero. Relina is the dumbest fucking person in the world this episode, so
I have a note about that.
I probably have 3. I think I might have written, I may have been inspired by that one news article and wrote the same thing 3 times. Let's see, that's the one I already read ahead in advance. All areas needed to determine ability have been restored. Measuring abilities isn't enough. I want this Gundam completely restored. Well, Zex, you're my guy and all, but everything measurable has been fixed, so you want everything that can't be measured to be fixed as well. Considering that the engineers really only work in the measurable stuff, I guess we need to import some poets and artists. Restore its greatness and ability to inspire fear. You know, the unmeasurables.
Again,
They should have
another
sent
I think they might have.
a poet.
They would have. It would explain better that what they were doing is like, oh, we store enough to be able to understand what we're doing, right? And be able to study it better. And we have to, and we need to move it. It can move its own power. It's like, no, I want it fully combat operational. That would make more sense, right? But it's like, no, I want you to store the spirit of the 01. It's like, Engineer's going like, in fact, I think one of the Jim is the one who goes like,
well, this is our cult after all. I guess one of us could sacrifice themselves.
Yeah, Jim is like, well, I don't know. We Rio area motherfuckers don't understand what real fighting does, so I guess we'll do our best.
We come back to Jim and Misser, and they're doing what the thing we just saw in the Thunderbolt episode we watched the other day.
Yeah,
bunch of bald guys with the emblems.
Yeah. I think second to last note, yeah. Talking about Relina. Even Relina, in her own way, gets the idea that this whole setup is dumb. Mind you, she does it she goes at it the way Relina does. Batshit insane, but still she has a point.
Legitimately, she goes from, I respect this sex guy, to kill him! Hero! Kill him! Real pacifist good guy energy coming off of Relina. Like, even if he wasn't her brother, she turns from, this could be all very useful to us. We need to fight we have the same enemy, let's fight the same enemy. Kill him! Bloodsport!
Yeah. Well, you know how she gets every time a hero is around her. It's like, oh my god, I gotta go crazy.
I mean, before she even started talking to them, she jumped in front of a blade. It was a real kill me moment. Knowing thinks that their pursuers knew where they were going because they calculated their flying range and deduced that they were heading to Zex's base. First off, this is a shuttle that can reach space. You go up, let the Earth rotate beneath you, come down, and you could be anywhere you want to be. This shuttle has a flying range of everywhere. Yeah. Second, they left from the Lake Victoria base and arrived in Antarctica, which is about 4,000 miles away. Later, they say the Filcher ice shelf, which is actually 4,350 miles away. They could have flown to South America, Europe, Russia, India. Honestly, the only places you likely wouldn't think they were going would be North America or Australia. So, they've got a window of being able to fly the globe. So,
yeah.
Lucky guess, Oct. I guess maybe you were a master of your craft.
The detective hat and all that. And my last note. And to cap it off, Sex battle cry at the end is, for the glory of the colonies. Just as an extra layer of Narm to the whole thing.
Well, I mean, he's been oddly pro-colony since the fight with Hero in the first place. The moment that they threatened the colonies, he was like weirdly anti his own side at that moment.
Well, ironically, I'm going to defend Sex on this one. It kind of fits the fact that he wants fights to be fair, I guess, right? He sees the despicable idea of just destroying the colonies to force these guys to surrender. So they're like, let's fight it out and beat them in an honest combat. Even if it takes 200 of our mobile suits to get destroyed. But, we can still do it. Kind of situation, I have the Twoggies. I can beat them, right? Kind of mentality. But he was like, well, We spend all our episode fighting each other. These guys showed up. For the colonies! My planet needs me!
Like you said, Zex wouldn't survive Iron Blooded Orphans.
Yeah. He wouldn't even survive 79. Because I think Char would just shoot him in the back of the head, like, oh yeah.
No, Char wouldn't do that.
Well,
Zex is always surrounded by his cult members, so Char wouldn't do that because Char would be like, if I do that, they're all gonna fucking gank me. I gotta wait till the perfect moment, how he killed Garma and whatnot. So, I mean, I think he would survive because he's more of a McQueeve when it comes to like 79. And McQueeve thrived in 79, so...
Yeah, but he was loyal to the very end.
Although I would say McQueeve also did some like underhanded shit, so... He's like McQueeve without the underhanded element.
Well, what I mean is he wouldn't survive being so openly...
Maybe more of a Rombarol.
Yeah. But then Rombarol was sent on a mission to just like, yeah, you deal with the Gundam, right? In your own way.
Yeah, so...
if you can.
Essentially a Rombarol.
Yeah, but he wasn't given a lot of resources like that. He wasn't expected, I think, to survive. Just spend, just...
Whereas Zex put it in order for as much Gundanium as I possibly can. That ultra rare, expensive material? Yeah, why not?
Yeah, the kind that makes the Gundams 9 vulnerable to most weapons that are thrown at them.
My best friend is Trey's. He's got the credit card.
Yeah. And enough to replicate
2 Gundams.
2 Gundams. So these, yeah.
Well, that was your last one? Mm-hmm. I think I got like 7 more.
All right, well, here we go.
Remember that we already covered that Lake Victoria base trains all Ares pilots? And that Noin has been in charge of Lake Victoria for nearly a generation's worth of pilots? So when she flies out and just starts blasting at Oct's Ares crew, the implication is that she's killing her own students. I suppose a further implication would also be that Oct trained under her at some point. He was in Ares.
Yeah, I know, but...
Just because he's older doesn't mean that he can get provisional training as an Ares pilot.
No. It's just Oct seems to like being like an outsider that wants to, wants to get into the factions, getting good with Rockefeller.
He wants to get it good with Romefeller. That doesn't imply that he has no training as a soldier.
No, true, but I guess
he's trying to impress his superiors with like a big win. So taking down Zex as some sort of traitor would be a big win for him. That doesn't really imply anything about what he's been doing in the background. And he seems to be flying in areas with enough proficiency to put him in line with the other pilots he's with, who are then fighting against Noin and gang. So, just would imply... I'm not saying it's like 100% fact. This means this. Nah, it would imply to me that Noin just, without even radioing, hey, you guys know me. I'm Noin. I trained you. No, it's just...
Yeah, pretty much.
Let's see. Now Troa is on the bandwagon of caring about people and being loyal to one another is a weakness, alongside Buffet.
Which is kind of dumb considering how he got slapped about by the girl that he's in love with him, and that made him stop. Like, I guess I learned the wrong lesson here.
They're all hypocrites.
Yeah.
I guess except for, I said Buffet was a hypocrite because of the whole bleeding hearts and women thing. I feel like one of the failings of Wing is that the characters emote feelings or motivations that seem like the character is trying to say something obvious, but oftentimes couldn't be further from. Like Noin saying she feels like she can't let Zex or Hero die. Why? It's cool that you think that and all, but that your internal monologue is sharing that with us. But you've been on one plane ride with the guy, and as eventful as it was, you spent the exciting part of it with Troa, someone you didn't have any internal thoughts about in that moment. I have no idea why you are thinking this, and that's the puzzling part.
I mean, I agree 100%. Everything you just said is like, what the hell? I mean, I guess it's like it feels very much like, oh, I read the script. The script calls for a fight. I guess my lines are all about justifying this fight. I have to justify my why am I doing this?
Well,
So
no, I'm talking about her talking about Hero.
yeah, but everything seems to be like, we got to fight this. We got to do this.
What gives Relina the authority to just land in Oz bases and ask to see whoever she wants? She doesn't invoke Noin's name until midway through her conversation with the base guy, so that's not how she got in. If it's some political thing due to her taking over the Sank Kingdom, they haven't even introduced the fact on screen yet. Hell, she name-dropped herself right after mentioning Noin, so it seems like that isn't the case either. Best I can guess is that Pagan was able to pull some strings somehow.
Yes. I mean, and this is a stretch. Kind of what you say about her being the new ruler of Sand Kingdom. The fact that the Romerfellers are a coalition or a group of high nobles, I guess leaders of nations, right? Have nobility, monarchies and the like, would put her in a position that people will listen to her.
As I said, she only name drops herself halfway through after mentioning Noin. So, they would let me do it. Tell them Relina Peacecraft said so. I would have known that if you used your name to get here in the first place, so obviously that's not what you did either.
Like I said, it's stretch. I don't have an answer for that.
This show really loves to give backstory by just saying something is true right now and implying that it has always been true. Like Zex will fight his best knowing that he has Relina to protect, something that's never been said before, the scene that it's happening in. Noin is becoming an exposition character. She talks to herself to let us know what is going on, and the stuff she says is shorthand to let us know how we should feel about different characters and what their motivations are. If not how they will act, absent of knowing their motivations.
I mean, literally, she's talking to herself on a computer, a terminal, and then Sex is like, "Well, I didn't want to overhear what the lines of exposition they were saying, but based on that, I can give you a partial explanation."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's when I wrote this note for her. She's talking out loud for us because the characters don't give us that information when they're on screen. So a third party character has to tell us, the audience, by talking out loud to herself. How does Pagan know that the Ares flagging them down are part of the search party hunting for Zex? Pagan and Relina have not been privy to any of these goings-on. Pagan got a 1-second phone call and then spent half a second whispering into Relina's ear. Realistically, that'd be enough time to say, what? He's at Barclay Base. Really fast? And then Pagan says, let's go, to Relina in half a second. Then we catch back up to them in the plane and they just know everything that's going on.
Yeah, very plot driven. We need to have Relina step in the middle of the fight, screaming at the Gundam and at the Toggy, stop to fight, blah, 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 all the things that he says, including kill him, right? And it's like, we got to do that. And yeah, we got to do that now. So let's do it. That's it. That's the only explanation. The bomb has to go off because we planted a bomb, The plot said there's a bomb. So boom, there goes the bomb.
I don't know who the idiot is, Pagan or Relina, for flying the plane in between two fighting Gundams and just ignoring everything going on. Pagan is obviously piloting, but Relina is telling him what to do, but also hanging out of a plane and shouting some 15 meters to the ground over the howling wind and expecting it to be heard. And yes, I know she's wearing a headset, but it's still, you're broadcasting over a flying plane. Let alone not be killed by the swinging beam saber coming down into their flight path.
I mean, I think they were in hover mode, but still.
No, because
you could say
they fly in and then we get like a freeze frame to see Relina's face, but then they keep moving. It's not in VTOL mode or anything. The engines don't switch like a VTOL craft would.
No, it has underneath. It has like thrusters. You can
Don't
see them in
remember.
other.
You say you
yeah.
can. We both just watched it, and only one of us did. So, in the realm of that was obvious, not so much if only 50% of watchers see it, which is the sample size that we can only have right now. That's the number, man. It's going to be 0, 50, or 100. And in this case, it's 50. Or I guess it could just be binary. No. Two of us agreeing, as unlikely as it's ever happened, can be a 2.
Yeah, we agree more often than you think.
I disagree. I mean, ironically, me disagreeing is agreement, isn't it? This is one of those catch-22s. We agree more often than you think, is what you're saying. And in your statement, I already disagree. And all I can do is agree to disagree.
I guess so.
It's literally a no-win. This is the Kobayashi Maru of debate.
On the wording.
Yeah, I guess, ironically, like the only way to win the Kobayashi Maru, I've got to beat you in editing. I've got to cheat, right? I've just got to cut your words up, put them in a different order, and...
Yeah, more often we agree, what you think.
My last note. Beam sabers really have little effect on Gundanium, I guess. Zex slaps the heavy arms with it, and it just knocks the heavy arms beam saber out of its hand. Then it hits it across the head multiple times with the beam saber, and it just rocks side to side. Gundanium is an energy-resistant material.
However, the way, and it's also in the intro as well, we've seen Gundanium cut off arms, like I said, because there's a weak point, I guess.
What are you referring to specifically? You need to be specific.
In the fight with 0-1, Trace managed to cut off one of 0-1's arms before
Trace? You said Trace.
I said not Trace. Sex managed to cut out one of the arms of 0-1 before Hero steps out.
Then it doesn't make any goddamn
sense.
Here's the problem: is that I've had this debate a long time ago. I think during Gundam 00, where I was arguing the possibility that Gundanium could penetrate the energy shields of Gundam 00, and people rather vehemently argued the fact that Gundanium is just a normal metal.
No, it's supposed to be not just normal metal.
Well, no, it's a normal metal. It's sci-fi metal, but it's like a normal metal. It's just harder than normal metal, and it's not like any special properties or anything. It's like moon steel, essentially.
Yeah, or moon titanium, space titanium in the original Gundam.
Yeah. So I don't know. Again, beam sabers, Amuro's killing device here just knocks the heavy arms back and forth. All right. Well, that I don't know what you're doing anymore. All right. That was the notes. As I said, though, we have a comment. We got Bruce Ingram from Scenario for Bloodshed. Probably should have said this ages ago, but Lessons has been a great addition to the channel. The heavy arms is weirdly popular. In most games that don't include all the wingsuits, they usually include it alongside the fan favorites Death Scythe and Wing Zero. They have a Gundam in Gundam X, the show that came after Wing, that looks suspiciously like heavy arms. Some people just love a heavy weapons platform with a Gatling gun arm. Probably should have gave it something better than a knife when it runs out of ammo, though.
Yeah. Also has a ton of missiles, too, which I really like. And I've seen some Gunpla builds with, like, 6 barreled arms, like 6, stacked Gatling guns, which just looks ridiculous, but it's, in a fun kind of way. Like, I have like 5 seconds of firepower, but it's going to be a lot of firepower.
It is dumb from anyone who's ever, custom built a mech warrior. You run out of ammo pretty damn quick. Plus
a battle mech, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess if you're being pedantic, you would refer to the mech warrior as the pilot then, right? Is that what you're doing? I don't give a shit. I already told you I do our LRM boats, so I'm hanging back with a sensor suite. I need you to run up on a guy so that I can get a lock. Otherwise, I'm going to be behind the hill or in a trench or behind the trees.
Yeah. Thanks for the kudos. All I can say.
Well, I mean, you could say more. Anyway, I guess that's it. So, nothing left to do but to hop on into the episode and see where we go from here.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button.
Hit that subscribe button.
Comment down below to feed that algorithm.
on top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
Unfiltered.
Uncensored.
And uncut.
as well as some early access stuff,
You can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
I think we're still, I forget how many
Couple
episodes are on
episodes.
this. I'll say 23?
40?
23 episodes from getting rhythm emotion.
Yeah. Yeah, this total has about 40 episodes, right? 40 some episodes, 41, 42. Yeah.
I think I was just implying that with my math that I didn't know. The fact that rhythm emotion only comes in the last 10 episodes, so.
Yeah.
Whenever that starts, we'll have it till the end.
Yeah. You were talking about, Hero doing the whole thing. But that's the thing he does in the opening, except he does like with a full palm.
Yeah.
Which is,
yeah, it's funny.
it was in 1990, so yeah.
It's funny. I showed you recently the ranking thing that we were doing for the Macross shows, and I gave an AI a list of all the shows we'd watched on the channel so far, so that it could use those as an example for the ranking system. That's why I put at the very bottom of the ranking system, these are AI generated examples, and not the views of us on the show. Because I think it gave Gundam Wing OST a 1. Because it said it's very generic score, except for outliers like just communication. So the AI liked the opening song, but that's about it. And it's really why I said it's not our opinion, because I've gone at length saying the OST for Gundam Wing is amazing.
Now listening to Sex in the Japanese, he does sound younger than his version in English.
Well, they got 360 wrists. A lot of dead people in the background.
Fun. Yeah. All those buildings.
This is they just firing and missing. A lot of dead people in the colony now. Why did I explode? Remember, this is what they were trying to transport from Lake Victoria Base way back. Plus the thing that was alluded to by Troa when he was indicating that they were transporting a lot of fuel. Meanwhile, at the Death Star, meanwhile, in
back.
Personality 2, be more ladylike, Lady Un. More ladylike.
Ditch the glasses. Yeah, I guess he ditched the glasses and got a dress. Well, she always had a dress, but it was a uniform dress.
That's what I need in my car. Curtains. Doesn't says class like not being able to see who's behind you on the road. First introduction of Barge. Two out of three Tauruses agree. Humans suck.
The new scientist.
Well, we already know Dr. J doesn't like the Tauruses.
しかし地球圏統一連合はあなたたちを抑圧してきました。その連合の時代はもう終わりです。地球では新たな秩序が作られようとしています。それはこの宇宙でも同じです。 あなた方は自由なのです。オズが皆様を
You
支え
people
ま
are
す。
free.
Free to do what we tell you to do. Free to line up it this way.
平和維持機関オズから届けられましたメッセージです。次回にこの議題の討論を行いたいと思います。オズも結論を急いではいないとのことです。それでは本日はこれで D エリアのコロニー議会を終了します。
Also, that looks like a sailor suit, like she's going from school or something.
I like all the ghosts in the background.
Yeah.
Some people in frame, some people just very blurry.
こちらこそ。
今は私個人としてですが、いずれコロニーすべてがオズに感謝することと思います。
随分とお若いリーダーなのですね。
若さを可能性と考えてはもらえませんか。私のようなコロニー第三世代は
You can call me
オズの区別もつかない老人たちとは違います。
Euro Huey.
オズも連合に所属していた組織です。急にはコロニーの人々にも理解していただけないでしょう。旧連合の部隊はまだあちこちのコロニーに配備されています。
Yeah, because a whole month went by and we still didn't take him out.
解放に向かいます。
お名前をまだお伺いしていないのですが。
そうでしたわね。私はオズの宇宙での指揮を任されてまいりました。私、レディー・アンと申します。
Dun, dun, dun.
Like, yeah,
Also,
we didn't know it was Lady on.
also, I can't see what you're doing. You're taking my glasses away.
Yeah.
次々に降伏させています。オズの新鋭機によってコロニー間に設置されていた宇宙機雷の撤去作業も始まりました。これによって各コロニー間の交流が再び始まるでしょう。
オズはどんな手段を使ってでもコロニーを自分の支配下に置きたいんじゃなかったのか。
はい。
Well, if people surrender willingly to them.
力で屈せられたのなら反抗の意思は残りますが、援助の
Yeah, but Trey's wanted the colonies to hate Oz anyway.
宇宙はのんきな奴らが主流だからな。オズの企みなんか気づきもしないぜ。
僕たちは宇宙に戻るべきだと思います。ガンダムと共に。
Yeah, I mean, we've basically
Yeah, that's-
accomplished everything we're meant to do here. Destroy Oz. Oz has been destroyed, right?
みんなを守れるのは僕たちだけ
Alright, we're done on our pool at the cliff face. Let's go down.
だがどうやって宇宙に上がる？表だった行動は
Not with that.
逆に目立つ
I don't think that's space worthy.
平和を偽ってコロニーの支
Hey,
配
maybe.
を企んでいるのなら
No, it's not a shuttle.
コロニーを盾にするなんても
I
う
know.
できなくなります。
オズが偽りの姿をかなぐり捨てたら。
そうすればコロニーの人々もオズの本性を知ることになります。今のオズはそれを得策と考えません。
Yeah, you're not gonna have
俺
a
たちまだ戦えるってこと
breakdown
だ
after this.
戻りましょう宇宙へ。
さすがはオズと言うべきだな。このエリアの連合軍を
You know, all this guy's missing is an armband.
ヒーローより暗殺事件の罪滅ぼしか。そんな言い方はないでしょう。あの事件にオズが関わっていたというのはあくまで噂に過ぎません。
As in, I haven't found them.
それはオズの言い分だ。名誉顧問、どうしてこちらに？お前たちがオズを受け入れる相談をしておると聞いたからだ。
今のオズは平和を望んでいます。
素直に信じられる。
The Alliance wanted peace and they got murdered.
少なくとも
Well, they
Yeah,
talked
to be
to
fair,
them
they were
anyway.
only talking about it recently.
過去に何度も血生臭い強硬策を取ってきたという話だぞ。
それこそ噂です。今は自ら指揮を取り、宇宙機雷
I mean, she was literally present for an explosion that was in the news.
Yeah.
宇宙を欲しているからではないのか。
So why are you wearing a bola?
働いているのは事実です。何にしても
Oh.
です。
Well, the honorary guy.
Oh, oh yeah, the
Yeah, that's what you call that, like, Texan thing.
我々の基本政策です。オズを受け入れましょう。
忌々しい限りだな。
really annoying.
Well, to be fair, they move. I was about to say mines in space are the stupidest things, but these move at least.
こちらニコル P0314 エリア作業終了。宇宙の掃除も簡単になったものだな。
レディー・アン特佐、
feel like if you really wanted to clean up space, figure out what the mine's target, just send debris into there and use one thing to destroy the other thing you're trying to destroy. This guy wasn't free for very long, was he? So it feels like he comes from a different anime.
証拠の隠滅か。
残念ながらデータも消去済みでした。
貴様がガンダムを作ったのか。
そんな質問の仕方があるか。
質問に答えろ。あの5体のガンダムに貴様は関係あるはずだ。
ないね。残り4体には。
どういう意味だ。
わしは最高のガンダムを作り上げたんだぞ。
And which one did you design? It wasn't Death Sight, and it wasn't Wing Zero. Never mind.
Yeah,
I thought the guy with the Hawaiian shirt was the Death Sight guy because he hangs out with Troa.
Yeah.
Guess that guy's just an engineer, not a scientist? Or is he just a random doctor who's just not with that Gundam?
シンガポールスペースポート基地にガンダム0204が現在攻撃を仕掛けています。
何？
やはり帰ってくるか。
Well, clearly what you do then is you drag this guy to a camera, put a gun to his head, and send a communication to the Gundams. It's literally what she's done before, and there's no annoying to stop her.
モビルスーツ打ち上げを HLV まで一気に行きます。
Heavy lifting vehicle.
Yeah, what happened to your backup though?
What happened to all the other times you've been shot at and never affected you?
Also, I noticed it. The Death Side has that crest that looks very much like, from that angle, looks very much like the Toggies.
Well, everything is designed from the Toggies.
I know, yeah, but.
Or, you know, at least just the two of us. And it's always weird when they can, like, survive anything, and then suddenly, like, a tank shot knocks one over. A certain colonies. I'm going to imagine it's the one that Hero comes from. I mean, to be fair, it's not a bad argument. Call the Gundams home. Fight at home. Because there's only one for each colony, and you apparently can't make more and pilot them with more pilots. That'd be a move, right? The colonies just start spewing out more Gundams.
I mean, but the GMs did.
Which is the element that the colonies can't fight back because they don't have a military power. But they've got one Gundam apiece, technically, if they wanted to own it. To be fair, the fuck does that mean to them, right? They're on a mission of revenge against Oz no matter what happens to the colony, so they're willing to let the colonies die to destroy Oz. Up until this episode, anyway.
No, I think they stopped the moment the colonies got threatened with the satellites.
No, there was 2 times we've had the conversation that their mission is to destroy Oz no matter what happens to the colonies. They've had that conversation between them twice now. That's why Hero is the only one that was going to self-destruct.
Well, then Troa too.
No, Troa was after. That was after the fact. A month later is not the same thing as when the colonies were threatened. So their pro-colony stance over the mission is something new that they've been like spewing forth all of a sudden. I mean, you're slowly depopulating the Earth with how many soldiers you kill all the time.
No?
Sorry, I was trained to stand here and not do anything.
We'll fight to the rescue.
I mean, hardly. Wu-Fei to the plot armor. Well, think about it. Why the fuck did they get knocked down? They take shots all the time that never hurts them. There's no damage to their Gundams. They just got knocked down. It's always surprising that he never targets anything. He always shoots over. Yeah, I'm saying he always shoots over. Well, why not though? Why not shoot the one in the middle? You're gonna still blow up everything else. Does he care about the tarmac that much? Oh no, that was everybody from across.
Doesn't seem like we're sensing peace, considering all the people you're blowing away.
I mean, it makes sense why we got the Tauruses, right? You've killed everybody. Well, they fired first. Clearly aren't playing the 3 laws of robotics thing. Didn't try to save those guys. They got out of the way. I mean, to be fair, they did fire through their own colony outer wall. And Dr. J surrenders for the 2nd time. Those are pretty massive for getting one thing up.
Yeah.
Although they do look exactly like the HLVs in Requiem.
Yeah.
Also, I technically have an entire army that I can't get onto one pod.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Not hurt. Same stuff that was knocking him down a minute ago. Sorry, I spilled some tomato juice on my face.
すまない。宇宙に行くことがお前への恩返しだ。勝手にそう思わせてもらう。
That's Zex's line. It's not your line.
あと残る武器は自爆装置しかないよね。
We all make that decision in our lives, I guess. So kind of funny they all use the same klaxon. It's not a brilliant move, but your self-detonate device opens the cockpit. Or at least have the presence of mind to raise the shield in front of the cockpit, but... What was the point of open? Okay, there we go. Never mind. He's getting out. I guess at the very least he's using it as a distraction. But he could have, you know, kept fighting. That also would be a distraction. Never mind, not much of a distraction, just standing there. Nothing stopping those guys on the ground from just aiming up. That's what the Federation did in Requiem.
Yeah.
Nope, they are aiming up. I don't know why they're missing.
Oh, there you go.
Well, you're out of
Baseline.
luck, Quattro. Zex used up all the Gundanium. Now, stupidly, we've decided to put all the smart people in the same room together.
Yeah.
Thank God we all come with extra parts.
Mm-hmm.
15年ぶりか。しかしまさか全員がガンダムの制作に成功するとはな。
Okay.
One of us looks evil.
Yeah. In any other show, they're like, oh shit, keep your kids inside, lock the doors, and hand me the minigun.
How do you know? How do you know they're all Gundam pilots in those? I wonder. What else is on this station right now? Oh, never mind, they're doing nothing apparently. Do we think that there's like no listening devices in the room?
I guess not.
So why did they all have different paths?
Yeah.
We
that's
know
weird. I guess
that they all come from the same location because it was.
Oh no, it might be more
Lagrange.
than that because these other guys are on other bases, so it would be 2 in one path, and then
No,
2
no.
in the
My
other?
point isn't
Yeah.
that they all launch from different places; that they go to different places. Remember, in this universe, it's not the different Lagrange points; it's Lagrange, a point. So they should all be coming from different bases and merging together into one line.
Yeah. I guess this is supposed to be a reverse of the original image where it's like, you know, they're coming like this and then this, you know.
I mean, not really, though, because it's missing. I don't. That's more of an iris look that one had, and this is just like a couple lines going off a different way.
Oh, really? Yeah. Crazy as always.
Again, it's very stupid that they actually did keep the scientists alive, because what do they hope to learn? Making Gundams?
I guess, but they already have. Well, 01, the information is with Sex, and if he's not sharing the information,
hold on.
トールギスとガンダムの戦いは戦争という時代の中に一つの終わりを見た。しかし、そのパイロットたちには過酷な運命が待ち受けていた。瀕死の状態で仲間に呼びかけるカトリ。ロームフェラの騎士として戦うことを拒むゼクスに、トレーズは英雄としての死を求める。新機動戦機ガンダムウィング第18話トールギス破壊。
Right, the classic scene where Zax loses the helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah, technically the battle between the Tall Geese and the Heavy Arms did not end any chapter of the war. It had nothing to do with the war. Also, what war?
or for sex art, I guess.
No, you don't fight a war between an army and 5 guys. That is, I don't know what the hell that is. I can't think of the word. It's not coming to me. It's not a war. Your nation, the world, versus 5 guys.
I mean, considering how much firepower those guys have, it's pretty much a war.
Not really. Like, you ever play a game where you have like one invincible unit on the enemy side and you've like eliminated everything else, but you still got like control of the map's resources and that thing is just wandering around? It's just like all you have to do is just keep luring it away. Essentially, they're still at whatever they can do is literally like how far do their weapons reach? Like, your biggest threat is Wing Zero because that thing can fire across the planet, it feels like. It's the threat of evil Superman when he uses his eye lasers to full effect and you see him like cut a swath through the planet. But the rest of them was like heavy arms can fire how far do chain gun bullets go? That's what I'm saying. Even no matter how powerful they are, they can only be in one place at one time. So at most, you've got 5 things in 5 places at one time versus a worldwide military. But not for nothing, that gives you the logistics to be able to keep them occupied by a fight for however long it takes them to get exhausted, starve, dehydrate.
I mean, I think at best it could be considered like a guerrilla war. They're carrying special operations and striking.
Well, you would call that
areas,
an
right?
insurgency.
Which is a war.
It's not a war.
Conflict, yeah.
It's a conflict.
It is a war.
You're conflating the words conflict and war again.
You are complaining. It's the same thing.
It's not the same thing.
Conflict.
Again, this falls into our previous arguments about words have definitions.
Low intensity conflict is a form of war.
Different words have different uses. I would argue that this is a conflict, not a war. A conflict is a broader spectrum word, but I would say that doesn't encompass this aspect of it. Does not encompass a war.
I think it's the reverse. War is a very expansive word, and you can have different types of conflicts within classified as war, such as low intensity, medium intensity, high level intensity.
My argument is that you can have different conflicts. You can have conflicts that do not take place within a war. So the conflicts then is the broader term because you can have a conflict outside of a war, whereas a war is a declared thing between 2 different groups.
Most wars are not even declared. Yet they're still wars.
Not most wars. Most wars are declared.
Not officially. They just started.
No, officially they are. That's why like the attack on Pearl Harbor was such a big thing. Because the diplomats got the timing wrong and they didn't declare it.
Okay, when was the last time the United States officially declared war?
I don't keep track.
It was World War II. Every single war the United States
here's the element of it. Here's the element of this lesson. So I'm interrupting you to cut off a long conversation. I would have to believe you for that to be true. And I'm not saying that you're like lying to me. I'm just saying that there's no fact checking here. And I'm not going to get into a big old Google fight about this again. We got a pretty long recording because of that first thing already, so probably should get to the next thing. My point is that I don't foresee... This is like one of those problems where I don't foresee you changing my mind, and obviously I'm not going to change yours. If we're going to do this, we're probably going to do this off-screen, where you're going to send me like a wiki article or something. I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying I plan to be obtuse forever, or you're a fucking idiot lessons. I'm just saying that this is probably an off-screen thing, or, God forbid, a commenter's thing.
Well, then I'm prepped for the next one, then.
We haven't ended this episode yet, lessons.
So, let's move on to closing the episode, then.
Well, I thought you were doing me the Pee Wee Herman. Cut it out.
Get out, yeah. No.
I think that's Pee Wee Herman.
Yes, I did.
I believe it was 1945. Yeah. Like I said, the biggest problem I have here is the element that what we talked about before, the conversations that the pilots had between themselves, that their mission parameters rather, were to destroy Oz, get revenge on from the colonies on Oz, no matter what happens to the colonies. So I
think that part of no matter what happens to the colony, I probably missed that part because I never got that part from them.
Sorry, I literally thought this was going to be like a 5-second lookup. It'd be easier if I knew which episode this was in. First to destroy that fortress wins.
Wasn't it when Dr. Claw, the scientist surrenders? Explaining why he sent the Gundams?
No, because it's in a scene before that when the two characters I'm thinking of are sitting like in a window shot of them sitting in a room.
Well, Katre and Troa?
I can't remember. I want to say it was Duo and Troa or something like that. Oh, apparently it was Quatra and Duo's conversation. Well, now we have it explained why they wouldn't surrender even if the colonies were attacked or destroyed, except for Hero, I guess. This is a mission of revenge. Don't worry about the colonies. Destroy them first. That's your responsibility. So that's the quote. Don't worry about the colonies. Destroy them first. That's your responsibility.
But
I didn't put a quotation mark. It's Quatra and Duo talking to one another. I think it's Duo talking in that scene. Because the rest of my note here is, despite Quatra and Duo's conversation, there hasn't been a mission since the colonies were threatened a month ago, and it doesn't seem like Troa and Hero got the same speech that Quatra and Duo did.
It might not be the thinking of all of them anyway.
Well, it's still the point that that's something that they go over. And again, Quatra and Duo agree on this aspect, that revenge against Oz is more important than the safety of the colonies. Or they at least agree that that's the mission that they've been given. I don't know if they agree with the aspect of it, and it's very clearly shown this episode that they suddenly care more about the colonies than that mission, even though they were talking about it, whatever episode that was.
I mean, they haven't really gotten any, after what's-his-name said he surrendered, they haven't gotten any new missions. They've been acting on their own ever since, so.
Well, that's what I was saying in that note. That they haven't, because that was like after Hero woke up again. They haven't gotten any new missions since everything that happened. All right, as I said though, that's my biggest hang up about this episode is the change of feeling towards the colony's safety. But it seems, again, I guess we have to make that change because we got to get them to get into space for the next arc of the story. That it always feels like the narrative is ahead of us.
Mm-hmm.
Like the show is constantly catching up with what's happening, and instead of like the camera wants to follow the narrative, but we're following the characters who are following the camera, who are then reacting to stuff we never see, like Relina going to the Sank Kingdom and becoming the head Peacecraft person. We don't see that happen, but we're right behind her somewhere.
Yeah, very plot driven, basically. Things have to happen because this is what we demand things to happen, which kind of reminds me a lot about Seed. Although, ironically, for all the criticism we made out of Wing actually kind of a little bit better at it. At least more or less, it's like, yeah, we're doing this, but we have some good ideas while we're doing it. We're not there hasn't been a scene yet where it's like, by the way, you should go and do that. No, we're not going to do that. Even it's the smartest thing to do. We're going to do the same thing you told us. We're going to do.
It's what I just said, though. We wouldn't get a scene where you need to go do that. Because that would be the thing that's ahead of us. Not ahead of us like we're going to get there. Ahead of us as though we're in a car. Plot is the car in front of us. We're in the camera car. That's already happened. We're following the camera car, which is them doing that thing. So we don't know the conversation. This is the problem that I had when I'm watching Record of the Lotus War. Not Chronicles of... is it Chronicles of the Crystal Knight? I think that's the one. The one where they did 26 episodes to really flesh out the story and the actual story. Yeah. I'm talking about the 12-episode one where they just time skip, don't show you important scenes. One episode ends with them fighting the Grey Witch, and the next episode starts with them in the throne room, having rescued the princess. And it's like, how did you get away? What? You guys were getting your asses kicked, and now you're successful. It's that kind of thing. We're just skipping over some stuff and getting you to the next thing.
That's not the one where it has the Great Dragons fight either, right?
You don't spoil anything, because literally we're only on episode 8 of 12.
Oh, well, then it isn't, because it is.
Oh, unless it's quick cover-up. Is that the one where the dragons fight? Well, I'm only on episode 8. Well, then it isn't. That's the best cover I can do. Is that the one where they kill the main character's girlfriend at the very end? I'm not done yet, man. Oh, then it's not that one. I don't know what I'm actually talking about, but it's certainly not the thing that I just guessed.
Mhm.
Isn't that the one where Vader is Luke's father? God, I'm only on the first half of the first movie. Well, it certainly wasn't that. I was talking about the Vader from WWE. The fat wrestling guy? He is...
Yeah.
I'm certain there's a Luke in WWE somewhere. His father.
Yeah.
All right, well, I guess that's it for this episode. So, once again, I've been Theta, this has been Lessons, we've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below, and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?